This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
We see Erik Watts here talking to Tony Schiavone. Let's track this promo so everyone can hear it, and then we'll talk about Flair coming back, because you don't want to miss what is about to be said here.
Home videotape exactly what happened. I want to get your comments on what happened after we take a look at the videotape, okay?
Well, let's take a look.
Okay, let's take a look at that videotape.
To set the stage, it's an amateur home video from Charlotte, North Carolina. And Erik Watts is standing outside of a gas station where it's clearly been raining. He's in the passenger seat of a four-door sedan, and there's a little girl asking for an autograph. It seems like her dad is filming it, and he's getting a very nice autograph. I'm going to pose for what is supposed to be a picture, but dad has a video camera. Pay that no mind. Someone's coming on the scene, and things are going to happen. Let's track it.
Hey, Blair. Give him a big kiss, Blair. See, ask if you can give him a kiss.
Hey, I told you I'd catch your ass out here somewhere. What's your problem? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you I'd catch you? Didn't I tell you?
Somebody call the police. Somebody call the police.
I told you what I tell you. Which one? I told you what. Broken my leg.
Here's the police.
The police are on the scene now, and they're taking Erik Watts off of Arn Anderson, who just had his submission applied on the concrete here at the gas station. And we're going to go back and get word from Erik, and I want everyone to hear this.
So now, Erik, as you look at that videotape, what was going through your mind at the time?
Well, first of all, thank goodness for videotape so the truth can be seen. What's going through my mind is that Arn Anderson made a point that he'd come at me anywhere, anytime. He wanted to jump on, but sometimes, as you can see here, when you jump on top of someone, you can't always get off. Right. Tony, I don't get paid to fight in the streets. I get paid to fight in the ring. But Arn wanted it a different way. I'm a wrestler and have been a wrestler all my life. Now it's a profession of mine. And let me tell you what, in any street fight or fight in the match, I'm going to get you on the mat. And once I get you on the mat, I'm going to put the STF on. And once I put the STF on, only the ref can pull me off. And in this instance, there's no referees. The only thing that kept him from saving his leg, if it's saved, is the police. Let me tell you what, Arn Anderson, anyone else that wants me, I'm an easy man to find. You can come get me.
That from Erik Watts as we go back to the ring.
Boy, he meant well. Still with me, Arn?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Well, lots to unpack there.
The underlying story between that whole thing was Bill Watts had already decided that Bobby Eaton and myself had, in a time that he was cutting everyone's salary.
Yep.
Cutting them in half. He had cutting Bobby's and mine in half too. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, well, there's no way I'm going to get that money back. So what the next best thing is to get some time off with at least half pay. I'm not going to spend anything to make it. I came up with that angle myself. And as it turned out, because you wanted to get the most out of the angle, I was off 4 months. During that 4 months, Bill Watts became unemployed. I was hoping for something like that to happen. Dusty came back in the Booker spot. I started back and everything completely changed. So what I did was I bought myself 4 months off with that angle. A lot of people said, hey, hokey and in a parking lot and all that stuff. I was just looking for something different. It was definitely different. And the real rib to the whole thing is there was one police officer there who was supposed to make sure that nothing, no one intervened or anything like that. All the other police officers were just driving by and saw the angle going on, but had no knowledge of it. So they were there shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the inside on that deal. And the guy that was trying to pull Erik off of me was a civilian. He was legitimate. He wasn't part of the gig. So, there were some parts of it that were cool, that were legitimate. And I don't know if in a street fight you put a STF on somebody, but that was his hold. That's what we were trying to get over. Bill Watts was happy with it. He thought it was excellent, and it did a lot for his kid, I would imagine, at that particular point in time. Plus, I got the 4 months off. So that's the backstory.
Well, listen, I love the idea of there being some realism to the show and attacking a guy at a gas station. There's been some famous moments like that, back in the Horsemen days when you guys filmed following Dusty and beat him up in the parking lot. That was great. And then you guys recreated it with WCW and the NWO and the Steiner brothers and all that. So I dig all of that, but boy, I think people look back not at what you did in that segment, but just the fact that your dance partner was Erik Watts and sort of groaned. And then you actually get to hear the promo afterwards. Boy, he was trying to rip off Ric Flair's famous line where he says, "You're going to find out jumping on is a lot harder than jumping off." Or a lot easier than jumping off. And he fumbled the line and a few other things. Those stops and starts. And, you recently on an Ask Arn Anything talked about sometimes you can look in a guy's eye and see that he's not confident. He was not confident. How unnatural was this whole process for Erik Watts? A, to be featured like this, B, to be the boss's son. So you've got heat multiple ways, right?
We'll know the truth. It's really not his fault. He
Yeah.
was brought in as the boss's kid and pushed to the max. You can imagine the look on Rick Rude's face when Watts told him he wanted his kid to beat him.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how that conversation went down?
No.
Me, I was just trying to make the most of it, but it's, the reality is that's one of those deals where the company gets heat with the fans because they don't buy it.
Right.
As elaborate as that was and the intricacies of everybody in the parking lot is beside the point, because at the end of the day, did they believe Erik Watts, the character, was going to have Arn Anderson in a STF in a parking lot screaming bloody murder?
No.
And I'm not sure that they bought that.
I'm sure they didn't. And it's a shame because, as I said, I don't think, Erik was given a fair shake. I mean, it would have been interesting to see how he could have done somewhere else. I know he had a cup of coffee with the WWF, but the business was down then. So much of life and success is just timing, right, Arn? I mean, some of it is just the luck of the timing, right?
It's the most critical component. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
It literally is. It is not a part of it. It's not a big part. It's everything.
And we're seeing a rather forgettable match here after that big segment. It's the Wrecking Crew taking on Keith Cole and Chris Sullivan. Let's talk about Flair though. Flair's been in the WWF, had a big run, couple title runs, big main event or co-main event, I guess it was, at WrestleMania for the world title with Macho Man. But now he's coming back. Were you in regular communication with him while he was up there? Was he telling you that, hey, I'm coming back, or I'm trying to come back? Or were you guys just sort of living separate lives at this point because you're both on the road all the time?
Yeah, separate lives. I mean, if there was if there was anything important, he would just call home, and Beth would call Aaron, and they would get a message to me or whatever. I mean, got to remember, in those days, everybody didn't have cell phones.
That's right.
So that communication, which we take for granted now, was not available back then.
Here's Dustin Rhodes. He's going to be doing a promo here with Tony Schiavone. Let's take a listen.
Steamboat for the belt later on tonight.
This is it. I've waited a long time for this. The United States Heavyweight Championship tonight. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and myself, very close friends. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I got one thing to tell you. You better be on top of your game, because I'm on top of mine, pal.
Okay, and Dustin, good luck to you. And fans, I'll be talking to Ricky Steamboat right here in the stretch room a little bit later on. But when we come back, the Super Brawl 3 Control Center on WCW Saturday night.
So listen, sort of second verse, same as the first. We just talked about Erik Watts and how he had a little bit of heat on him because his dad was pushing him real hard. Hey, so let's talk about what your schedule was in this era. Gainesville, Georgia, the Georgia Mountain Center. You're there doing TV tapings on January 5th. And then the next day you're in Montgomery, January 6th, 1993. There is a crew that runs on January 8th in Arkansas, as well as in Monroe, Louisiana, the next day on the 9th. And then on the 10th, they're in New Orleans. You're not on any of that, but you are here on the 11th. And you would continue with them because you're just a couple of days away from the Clash of the Champions. That's going to air on the 13th, or it'll be taped on the 13th rather. I know. I guess that was live. Either way though, I guess my question is, why were you on certain shows and not all? Is this a situation where they're giving you time off, you're requesting time off, or did you have a legitimate injury here that you needed a little bit of heal up time?
I'm sure I was nursing an injury, and television was one thing. House shows were something different. You had plenty of talent that I wouldn't be missed on a house show. Probably give me a few days to heal up before a big show.
I just found it interesting that you're really kind of hard to find for the first few months of the year. So maybe that's what part of the whole gas station thing was, to sort of sell the injury here.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.